Mercury is putting his gun in its holster, and thank the fucking goddess. Let's talk about what's happening. And what's happened. I am Tigris, I am the Sky Witch, and I love talking all things stars and magic. And so if that's what you like to listen to, hit that follow button. Today we are talking about the fact that Mercury is stationing direct. What does that mean? We hear about retrogrades all of the time. We're just going to start off with a quick note that what a retrograde is when we are standing here on Earth and we are looking up in the sky. The wandering stars, which are also the planets, which typically tend to look like they're moving from the eastern horizon to the western horizon, actually start moving in a backwards direction where it looks like they're moving from the western horizon to the eastern horizon. In reality, all the planets are moving in one direction as they orbit around the sun. This is just from our perspective. It just looks like that. It looks like it's moving backwards. And on July 23rd, that backwards motion stops and Mercury starts to move forward in a forward direction again. That doesn't mean that we're done with this bullshit, but it is certainly going to be a relieving point. The memes have been all over the internet. This Mercury retrograde is different because this Mercury retrograde has a gun, and you know what? Cancer is a thug, so no surprise. This retrograde has been happening in the sign of Cancer, which is a very emotional place. But that's the thing about Cancer energy, is when you hit that point where it's like, ooh, I can't take it anymore, you motherfucker. I'm gonna just thug you. I mean, don't fuck with the Cancer. They have given and given and given and given and given and given and adored and loved and nourished and nurtured and offered you so much. So when you hit that point where the thug comes out, you probably fucking earned it. And Mercury is going in and went and trudged up all this feeling that we've probably been holding on to, because it's the other thing about Cancer is we might not tell you that we're really upset about all the things. I get to say these things because I am a Cancer. But as the little things, they're always little things, right? They start to add up and you're like, oh, it's just a little thing, it's no big deal. And you kind of let it slide. And then another thing happens and you let it slide. And another thing happens and you let it slide. Well, it's time to stop letting it slide, because everything that you slid down under the rug is still there. And this retrograde period, Mercury has been walking on that rug, being like, crunch, crunch, I can tell there's all sorts of shit under here. Let's tear this rug off and see what's there. And have the feelings that you've been avoiding having. Now, one of my biggest lessons is that I have to let people know that I've been hurt sooner. So if feelings have come up that made you be like, ooh, that hurt, this isn't the moment to let it slide. Now, I'm not saying go out and use your thug gun shit to deal with the situation. I am saying, though, that feeling has been there and you need to address it before it gets worse. Feelings are such great information for us. Something's going on for us, especially when we get those difficult feelings, those tough feelings, those intuitive feelings where we're like, oh, something is off. What can I do to fix what is off? And Mercury has been saying this whole last 3 weeks, that's off, and that's off, and that's off, and that's off. And we haven't necessarily done anything about it, but at least we've identified it, right? Over the next couple of weeks, Mercury is going to be speeding up again, and it's going to retrace its steps. And what that means is the whole backwards forward thing. It's it's gone all the way to the backwards point, and now it's moving forwards. I went out for a walk and I was going to go to my friend's house, but I realized halfway there that I forgot this gift that I had for them at home. So I turned around and I went home. And Mercury stationing direct is that I got home point. I picked up the thing that I went for my friend, and now I'm going to walk the path that I just walked back on. Now, I might take a different route to get to my friend's house. That would be really smart if I walked down this path and I went, oh, there's a big fucking hole there. And then I walked back on this path backwards and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there's a big fucking hole there. It's fine to take a different path so that you avoid the hole. That is fine. But you are going back to finish what you started. That whatever was disrupted and you had to kind of go backwards. So the finishing point is coming. It's not gone yet. there's just so much that we have had to learn over this period. The sun has also been in Cancer throughout the majority of this experience. The sun will have just moved into Leo right before Mercury does its stationing thing. So before, it also had the sun there illuminating light to be like, oh, like there's no shadows under there. You can see everything. And now it's kind of moved into the next sign. So it's a little bit dimmer. You're not going to see everything as clearly, but because of all the experiences you just had, you're going to be going on this walk with eyes wide open. So you don't need the sun to be like shining over there so you can see what's like glimmering. You have your eyes wide open and you can see it even if it's a little shady or a little shadowy. And now you get to address it. You get to make the changes, optimize the things, update the stuff, call the people, review the contract, and move forward. It's time you can do that again now. The other thing that this Mercury retrograde really like drudge stuff up on is Mercury's homes. So this doesn't just impact Cancer, because Mercury still has responsibility at home even while he's like doing this backwards thing through Cancer. So Mercury considers both Gemini and Virgo to be his homes. And while Mercury has been having this retrograde motion, that impacts what he has been able to do to help and support his homes. One thing to consider is that Mars is in Gemini right now. Uranus is also in Gemini, but Mars specifically, it's just in there for a shorter period of time. So Mars has been looking to Mercury for guidance on things that it needs while it's in Gemini. But Mercury hasn't really been able to provide that to Mars in this time being, because it's been like, oh yeah, I forgot this, and oh, what about that, and this and this, and Mars is like, I'm still looking for this, what about that? And go, yeah, I'll get to that. And so there has been some instability for these planets that are actually already destabilizing, and it's just been difficult, especially like whatever part of your chart Gemini represents has probably felt like it's had some destabilization in it. And it's getting like even more as a result of this Mercury retrograde. But here we are at that point where Mercury's now stationing direct. He's going to be able to give more support to his people again. Same thing with Virgo. Venus is in Virgo. The Self Node is in Virgo. Venus has been looking to Mercury to be like, what do I need to do here? And Mercury's been like, I don't know, I'm feeling these feelings. Let me feel these feelings first, okay? Now that Mercury's direct, it's going to be able to give a lot better help and support to Venus in that Venus area of your chart as well. Totally different situation though, because like that Gemini area, Mars, that is like popping frustration and energetic action, versus Venus, which is like, I would like to look at all of the details and see what we can do to optimize the things that we love and how we relate to the beautiful art that we make. Let's get into the details. So it's a different vibe. Venus is more about kind of like bringing things together in union, versus Mars, which is about separating things. And Mercury has been trying to like navigate both of them from this like heavily feeling place. I bet you've been feeling confused. I've been feeling confused. But nonetheless, we are finally in this point where Mercury is stationing direct, starting to move forward. It's going to continue to navigate this Cancerian energy, but it's going to be hopefully a little less intense because the sun is out of Cancer, and it will hopefully be coming from a more aware place because you've already learned and picked up all of the things that you needed to consider and think about as a result of what Mercury and the sun discovered when they were together. Okay, so I want to know where Cancer is in your chart. I want to know what flavor your Mercury is, and that means like what sign is your Mercury in. So drop that down in the comments so that we can keep talking about where this is happening for you. If you liked this video, remember I'm Tigris the Sky Witch. You can hit like, follow, and share, and I hope to see you again soon. Love you.